Okay, in this particular lab, what we're going to do is utilizing functions with passing parameters. So in this particular problem, what we're going to do is we're going to create two functions. One function is to add two numbers, so we'll have it called myAdd, which is going to add two numbers. And we're going to create another function that's going to be mySubtract, which is going to subtract two numbers. So when we take a look at our syntax and our coding, what we're going to do is we have an area over here that we're going to be adding on the functions to all our code. And we'll start out with this one, simple lines of code here. So our first line is going to be our defining function. Well, we have again define our variable name for our function, myAdd, and you notice that this time we're utilizing some variables. In this particular case, we're utilizing x and y. And then what we're going to do is utilize our f-string print statement that's going to state, print the sum of x and y is x plus y. So we've done this plenty of times in some other code. The next function we're going to look at is to subtract two numbers, and the syntax is going to be similar. So again, we're defining our function name, which is mySubtract, and once again we have parameters of x and y. And then our next line will be our print statement, stating that the subtraction of x and y is equal to, and once again we did something like this in a previous lab. And now to actually have those functions work, we go under our main program and we're going to write our code to actually call those particular functions. And this is going to be something different, where we have myAdd, which is going to be calling that particular function, and we're passing parameters of 3 and 7. So what that means is when we have myAdd 3 and 7, these parameters are being passed to this particular function. So 3 is going to be x, y is going to be 7, and then it's going to perform its calculation all in that particular function. And then to call the subtract one, we'll do something very similar, and we'll say mySubtract 3, 7. So same kind of concept here. 3 is going to be passed to here, 7 is going to be passed to there. So let's go ahead and run our code to see how it looks like. So we're going to run it, and let me move the items over here. And here is our output. The sum of 3 and 7 is 10, and the subtraction of 3 minus 7 is going to be 4. So that means when the script, so once again we have our syntax down below here. This again is calling this main statement over here, and these are going to be our call statements to run our functions that we created up above. So first one is myAdd 3 and 7, comes up here. The sum of 3 and 7 is 3 plus 7. That is that particular code that runs. After that is done, comes back over here. We're going to run mySubtract, which passes again 3 and 7 here, and executes this particular line, which displays it right there. So that's basically how passing parameters to functions work.